The state of Minnesota is getting added to the license plate map today, but long before they looked like this, they looked like this. Leather pads with metal numbers that were assigned by state boiler inspectors. A few years later, though, license plates began to be standardized in Minnesota for the very first time. First in Minneapolis in 1908, and then statewide by 1909. However, Minnesota didn't exactly know what it was doing at first. Like, they experimented with making plates out of porcelain for 1 year in 1911, and then launched a string of multi-year plates later in the 1910s, which were actually pretty cutting edge at the time. But this was also all while the state was issuing pairs, despite requiring just one license plate to be mounted on the rear of the car only. In the 1920s and 30s, Minnesota's plates had either an A or a B on them, which was to denote whether the car weighed below or above 2,000 pounds. But their plates finally began to find their footing in the late 1940s, when some distinctive designs appeared, like 1949's infamous waffle base, named because of the odd metal texturing, which was followed by the first appearance of its classic 10,000 Lakes slogan a year later in 1950. And while they remained pretty plain for the following couple of decades, in 1978, everything changed. That's when the earliest iteration of Minnesota's current license plate appeared, and at 47 years old, it's one of the oldest continuously used license plate designs in all of North America. It hasn't gone totally unchanged since then, though. The state outline was added as a number separator in 1983, the word Explore was added to the top left in 1986, and the state began flat printing their plates with 3M instead of embossing them in the late 2000s. And bonus fun fact, the Red Lake Band of Chippewa in the northern part of the state were the first ever Native American tribe to issue their own license plates back in 1974, paving the way for dozens of other tribes across the US to do the same today. Here's our Minnesota all cut up, and I'm happy to say it fits perfectly on the board. But now it's time to head elsewhere, so what state do you want to see me add to the license plate map next?